Welcome to the ShoutFyre podcast at ShoutFyre.com.
Hello again, everyone. This is Bill Love, ready to talk to Bob Hickey again. How you doing, Bob?
Good, Bill. How you doing?
Great. The thing I want to talk about today is building a sense of community. The fact that writing and drawing is pretty much a solitary occupation. You're sitting for hours by yourself, pouring your heart and soul into your work, and never really knowing, is it as good as you think it is? Is it as good as you should be? What are some of the advantages of having a community to work with?
Oh, it's everything. We have so much more now than we did in the past with your social medias and groups and everything. In the past, we truly were just sitting here waiting to send off faxes or mail copies out to people before we could get responses on how this is looking or how this, this is what they want. And, now it's instantly take a photo or scan, boom, pop it out within minutes. We can share it with everybody in the group or in the team and get responses back. So the ability to reach out to communities is so much greater now. But, what you want to do with the communities is you support each other within a community. You want to get in the communities that want to support you in what you're doing.
Well, you can find a lot of support from your immediate family and friends who don't create comics, but they'll generally say, hey, good job, but they don't really know what they're talking about. Technically, they can be encouraging, but it's different to hear from someone who's also involved in the same process.
Yeah. Aunt Sue can pat you on the back, say, great job. Glad you're finally using those colored pencils I gave you 10 years ago. Yeah, that's fine. But it's the creative community that look at and say, man, that shading technique is really cool. How did you pull it off? Or how do you get everything blue, even though with all the shading and everything, and you can ask questions and share. And there's a lot of growth. I believe you grow faster when you're in a supportive community, because what you're doing is you're presenting your work to people who are invested or are also sharing their work and pushing for the same achievements. And, you're getting replies back. You got to be, one thing is you got to be willing to take the negatives with the positives and roll with those.
Well, that can be a difficult thing for a lot of people who are into this are solitary. They're fine being at home working for hours on time rather than being out in public. So they can tend to be shy in people. So is it difficult for people to put their work out there and be vulnerable to get this kind of criticism? Have you found that?
Sometimes there's people who are real backwards and shy about it. And I'll be the first one to say, if this is your vision, this is what you want to present, then it's great. Who am I to tell you, oh, you need to do this, that, or whatever. Now, are you wanting to take it to the next level? Are you wanting to get this on a publishing level to possibly get picked up and distributed by a publisher? Is this something you want to put on a level and self-publish on the net, on the web? What's your next step? And that's where ShoutFyre and myself and other people involved with ShoutFyre can help with that. Here's where you're at. It looks great. If that's where you want to be, then great. We'll give you tips and ideas. If you want to step it up, we're more than happy to get you up to the next level with whatever we're capable of doing. So that kind of community and feedback is priceless.
Can it be hard to find time to do what you want to do? I know a lot of people who are involved in projects that I meet from one convention to the next, and they're still working on that same 20 pages.
You mean the portfolio that shows up every year with the same 6 pinups?
Oh, I do see that, yes.
Oh my gosh, yes. There is a time frame. The problem with time, so many things can get in our way, from family to work. I own my own business, a retro video game store. It's huge amount of time involved in it. It's only a few years old. We just got done with phase 1 of remodeling. Then there's, I've got a new granddaughter. So there's just so much time, but you've got to try to fit it in if it's what you want to do. If it's your hobby, you fit it in when you can. If you want it to be part of your business, then it's got to be part of your weekly schedule. It should be. I shouldn't say it's got to. It should be part of your weekly schedule on producing new work. The great thing is within the community, you can put it out there and constantly get feedback and make it better and better. And then are you doing this alone? Or do you want to build a community around yourself, a studio, and bring in others to help you, whether it's with the writing or it's with the inking or it's with the coloring or if it's in production? Are you going to bring in others in the community to help you build a studio around your project? I mean, there's ways to use a community, and there's ways to benefit from a community that is great. And what we're doing at ShoutFyre is ShoutFyre, we're going to put information out every week on how-tos and podcasts and blogs and all kinds of stuff. But we've also created a private members page over at Facebook. Everybody uses Facebook. And you go over there. It's private. Nobody can see it but members only. If you're a member of ShoutFyre, you'll be a member over there. And then you'll be able to share in that community, share your artwork, post it, and we'll be able to get feedback.
It can be very energizing to get positive feedback from someone that you respect. I mean, you see their work, you enjoy what they're doing, and you hear from them, and it can mean so much to you, and you get that charge that you want to get back and keep on creating.
It is, and that's where when you feel like you have a piece of art, you're at a point that you want to start publicly sharing out on your Instagrams, your Twitters, your Facebook. A friend of mine is a sketch card artist, and I know his likenesses have gotten wonderful. He is a great artist, and I'm hoping to drag him over to ShoutFyre to share some of his ideas and tips. And he did I think it was a card of a wrestler, and that wrestler saw it on Instagram and shared it. And of course, my friend got tons and tons of hits off of that. But it was the smile I saw on his face when he said that the wrestler really liked the artwork. It was that reflection back of like recognition that he has now taken a step up in his talent and where he's at with his art. And that's great. It's a great thing to feel.
Yeah, I don't think you could underestimate the energy that gives you and inspires you to keep on doing what you're doing and to get better at what you're doing.
Well, that's sort of what community is. You inspire and push each other. And don't get me wrong, there can be negativeness. I'm hearing a lot of bad things about Twitter now. There's the Twitter spams and people putting people down. And that's just not going to be, I'm not going to be involved, and ShoutFyre is not going to be involved in that. So that's why we've gone with a private group. You can share your information. Only other members will see it. But I think also we got to realize that ShoutFyre itself is a community because we're out here putting out content to constantly get you better, to constantly give you tips and ideas that hopefully you can learn from. So it's sort of like a community is many different things. It can be the place where you go share and chat and be involved with other members. It can be the place where you get information and entertainment. And hopefully you add ShoutFyre to that part of your life, because I think it's going to turn into some really great stuff. I mean, the amount of information that's going to be there is amazing.
Well, but that interaction can, be strictly on a, one topic level, talking about drawing, but I've seen genuine friendships build from this too.
Yes, most definitely. We, back in the day, the Blue Line days, we did a chat board called Afterburn Media, I think. And we had a great group of people out there sharing back and forth. The thing with those boards, you had moderators, because no matter what, you get some negativeness going on. But there's Jeff from those boards, who I still follow on Facebook, him and his family. He's in South Korea. And he's right now a part of this Inked October thing where everybody's ink artwork and trying to post on a weekly or daily basis. So yeah, you get friends and people you follow. It's amazing when you put a good group of people around you, how they can help you achieve where your goals are, and then you get to help them achieve what their goals are. And that's sort of a give and take that a community can offer.
I think that's something that's hard for someone who's really just starting to imagine that before you know it, they can be reaching out and helping and encouraging other people the way they were encouraged not too long ago.
Oh, sure. I was coloring a strip for Clay's way back years ago, and I just came up. I had to do snow, and it was like, oh man, how do I do snow? So I just fudged some way to do snow. Well, I had
Hey,
this
it's just white.
colorist.
Isn't white
Yeah,
easy?
no, that's the problem. It's white on a white board, so I had to come up with a way to make it look like snow. And actually, I need to revisit that technique and maybe share that. I had a colorist who was doing a lot of indie books and some of the smaller publisher books, like Boom and those guys. And she contacted me and says, I really love the way you just figured out how to do snow. And so I sort of laughed. I was like, well, I sort of fudged it, but this is how I did it. And so because she was within my group of friends and everything, part of the community, I was able to share that technique with somebody who did it for a living and who was very good at it. And that was sort of fun. It sort of made me feel good that I came up with the technique. So what I was getting at is that everybody stumbles across something that really works, and you might even not realize it is something new, or it's something that is sort of different from the way other people do it. But when you share something like that, or you reach out, like, how did you do that? Then you get to share with the community.
So what you're
And
saying
you,
is, no matter what level you are in this process, you've got something to learn and something to share.
yes, most definitely.
Well, Bob, I think that kind of wraps it up for today. It was time, but it's a good way to end it. Okay, I'm really impressed by how important you feel that the sense of community is to building ShoutFyre.
Oh, I think community is going to be a large part of what ShoutFyre will be known for. I hope it will be anyway.
Well, thanks again. Great talking to you, Bob, and talk to you again soon.
All right, thank you, Bill. Take care.